Hi, I'm Debbie from the Fat Quarter Shop, and today we're going to talk about the sewing notions that you will need to have a successful quilting experience. The first thing you're going to need is your sewing machine, obviously, in good working order. If you have one at home that you've been using on a regular basis, you might just need to add a new needle and you'll be ready to go. If you have one that you haven't used for a while or are borrowing someone else's, you're going to need to know how to use it, how to fill a bobbin, and need to know if you have a 1/4 inch foot. It's very important in quilting that you use a 1/4 inch foot, and most machine manufacturers do offer them. If you're going to go out and buy a new machine, I highly recommend that you buy one that has the 1/4 inch foot included in it, as well as a reverse option on it as well. If you haven't used your machine in a long time, it's a good idea to take it to your local dealer and have it serviced, have it oiled and recalibrated so everything is in good working order. The next most important thing you're going to need is your cutting mat. This is an OLFA cutting mat which measures 36 by 24 inches. It is very versatile. You will have this for a very, very long time if you take good care of it. And it is self-healing so that when you're using your rotary cutter, the line and the cut that you're making will automatically self-heal. The lines on this mat are just for a guide. You won't be using them in your cutting, you'll be using your ruler, but it is a nice guide. I highly recommend that you keep this mat stored flat or standing straight up against a wall. If it's left in the heat, it will automatically begin to bubble after about 10 minutes and you won't be able to ever get it flat again. You're making an investment on this mat, so take good care of it and store it flat and keep it in a cool, dry place. The next item that you're going to be needing, and very important, are your rulers. This is the OLFA 6 by 24 inch ruler. It is frosted acrylic and the black lines are very visible both on light and dark fabrics. It also has a feature on the back that will keep it from sliding on your fabric, so it is more stable when you're cutting. The other ruler you'll be using is the 6 by 12 inch OLFA frosted ruler as well, and it is the same manufacturer. Black lines, easily viewable through light and dark fabrics. It has a finish on the back that will help it be non-skid. It will not slip on your fabrics. These two rulers, if you purchase these two for your starting project, I don't think you'll need to have another ruler ever again. Of course, there are lots of specialty rulers on the market, but these two will get you started and will get you through any quilting project that you have. The next item is a rotary cutter. This brand is the OLFA Ergonomic Rotary Cutter, 45 millimeter size. It is very easy to use. You can hold it in your hand, and by squeezing the handle, it engages the blade. By letting go, the blade is tucked away safely, so it is not going to be visible. If you want to lock it, you just press the red button, and then you're not able to move the handle at all. It locks in place. These also have replacement blades so that when the blade becomes dull, you can just replace it and not have to replace the entire rotary cutter. The next item are your scissors, and I recommend 3 different sizes, 3 different kinds. The first kind is the Ginger 8-inch knife blade, and we use this for cutting fabric only, no paper. It's great for cutting large pieces of fabric into a little bit smaller ones, something that maybe your rotary cutter and your rulers can't do. And this is a very good brand and very versatile. You also have a cover for the tip to keep it nice and sharp. Then you're going to need paper scissors for cutting out paper patterns and for cutting triangle paper. Anything that you would not cut fabric with these, just paper scissors. So it just needs to be an inexpensive brand. This is the Fisker brand, and it's an 8-inch blade. The other pair, the last pair you'll need, is a little pair of scissors to clip threads at your sewing machine. This is the OmniGrid 4-inch brand with a very sharp tip. I keep these next to my sewing machine for just clipping those little pieces of thread. The next item you're going to want to have is a very good pin cushion. I love the Grab It brand magnetic pin cushion. It keeps your pins in place. Whether it falls off your sewing table, all the pins naturally stay in place. And I like to have 2, one for my cutting board and one for my sewing machine. The pins I like to use when pinning my fabric together are the Clover Patchwork pins. These are very thin and have a glass head pin so that when you are ironing, they will not melt. I don't recommend that you ever sew over pins, so these can easily slip out as you are going through sewing your fabric together. Another item you might like is the 50 flat flower head pins. These also can be used to pin your fabric together with. They're also very heavy and thick, and so if you're doing a kaleidoscope quilt, these will hold all your layers together just perfectly. The next item is a seam ripper. This is the Clover brand seam ripper, which I love. It has a really nice handle. It has a very sharp point, and the little end slips easily underneath your stitching, and you can clip your threads very quickly. It also has a plastic sleeve which protects it, so you'll keep your point nice and sharp. The next item are our marking tools. This is the Sew Line pencil marker, and this is used when you are going to be marking a line on your fabric, either for quilting purposes or for marking a line where you need to stop or where you need to start. This particular pencil has a very thin lead. It also has an eraser, and all the lines can be erased. It also comes with several different types of leads and colors that will match whether you're working on a light fabric or whether you're working on a dark fabric. So it also comes with white and green and pink and yellow leads. Usually when you are sewing and using this as your marking, your sewing thread will go right over the top of it and the line will disappear. It also washes out. It's very safe for your fabrics. Another pen we'd like to use is the Vanishing Marker. This is like a little sharp point felt tip pen, and it leaves a purple line. It's vanishing because it only lasts for a short period of time. So if you're marking your quilt with a quilting pattern, you're going to want to sit down and do your sewing right away. If you walk away and leave it for several hours, you will come back and your purple line will have disappeared. It's safe for your fabrics, and it does wash out. The one thing you're not going to want to do is to iron over your purple lines. It will set them permanently. So do your ironing first and then your marking last. The next items we'll talk about are threads. It is important that you use 100% cotton threads when piecing your quilts together. Quilters typically use 3 different colors: white for very white fabrics, cream, or light gray. It is not always necessary to use the same color thread as the fabrics you're working with. These 3 colors will work great. This brand is a little larger, so if you are doing lots and lots of piecing and want to have something maybe a little bit more economical, we recommend the Gutermann brand. It has a lot of yards of thread on this and will last you a really long time. The next item is spray starch. I highly recommend that you use spray starch on all of your fabrics. When I get home with new fabrics, I always lay them on my ironing board and open everything up, give it a light coating of spray starch, and then iron it. It will take all the creases out. It will also add a little bit of stability to the fabric, so when you're cutting it, you can be more precise. Then your iron. You're going to want to have a good iron. We recommend that you have one that has both a dry and a steam function. The one I'll show you today is the Oliso iron. This one goes anywhere from permanent press settings all the way to wool, your most important being the cotton. It uses regular water and doesn't have to have distilled. It has all the different settings, both spray and dry. It also has a really fun feature known as the auto lift. So once you turn your iron on and you're ironing, instead of sitting it up on the table when you're done, you can actually leave it down on your ironing board just like this, and it will pop up and be elevated above your iron, so you can just continue ironing in one solid motion. I hope you have enjoyed all of these products today. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call on our toll-free number or visit us on our website, fatquartershop.com. For a listing of all the items that we've talked about today, you will see them at the end of the video. Thank you.